you'll come across a lot of struggles in your SMMA journey or in your agency space journey in general. It's just a thing that's kind of inevitable, and you're going to run into a lot of struggles and a lot of issues. And a big one that I found out was productivity. How productive are you actually in your days? And are you doing stuff to actually get your first client or get your second client or increase your revenue by $5,000 or whatever level you're at in your agency? Being productive is one of the hardest things to keep consistent at throughout the days, especially for new agency owners. Myself, I'm having an issue with it right now, and I am currently in the middle of wanting to leave one of my old jobs I just got back into and going into something else where I can have more time to run my agency or start an agency and do stuff online. The reason why I'm making this video is fully off the dome. No script, just straight up talking about how you can be more productive with your agency and how I got my first client quickly, because I've realized a few things. So number one, I realized that the amount of outreach that you do isn't really important. What matters more is how you're doing the outreach or how high quality the outreach actually is. If you're just spamming out emails all day long or spamming out Facebook DMs all day long, not really looking into their company or targeting their specific problems in your outreach message, then a lot of times you're going to get the same simple answers, which sometimes you'll get a yes and you'll get a booked call. And if you do, that's awesome, right? A lot of times, if you can send the same amount of DMs that you do in a high quality way, you will probably get a lot more callbacks, booked appointments, and possibly get your first clients or get more clients in general, which basically means you're going to make more money, and it's just more experience for everyone all around. Now, when I first started SMMA, the first month or so, I really didn't do much. I thought I was doing a lot. I was doing, 20 emails or so a day, until I eventually finally was like, you know what? I want to actually give it a serious shot like I thought I was doing and start actually outreaching, but doing it in a proper way, like I just mentioned. So what I did in the first month was I did nothing. I was doing 20 emails a day. I was going through courses. So I was learning things, right? But I was not actually getting money into my business, or I was not getting money into the company that I wanted to start. And a lot of times in these agency journeys, no one really gets money in first. They only think about, oh, how can I make the coolest agency possible and the coolest logo and all these things in the name, when you don't actually have a business yet. Now, I know you got to start with something, start somewhere, but many people start with that and never ever expand it to an actual client or the second client or whatever it is. Another big thing too is don't overthink what you're trying to work on, right? You don't need to do every service in your niche's freaking, history, right? All you gotta do is pick a few services or one service in that niche and become good at it. Become good enough to sell that service. Become good enough to sell that skill to a customer or to a client in this case, right? Like a lot of times I see people online, especially in my Discord, which by the way, link in the description if you guys want to join it. I mean, it's not a SMMA Discord, it's more of like a community-based Discord. Anyways, who cares? No one cares. Nobody cares. But a lot of times what I see in these Discords is that people really think that they can just learn every skill and every service in the history, and it's like it's gonna make them more money, which in the long run it actually will make you more money, but you want to make money first. You want to get good enough to actually sell a skill first, and once you do that, the amount of money that you make after that is kind of unlimited, and it's kind of based on how much work you put into outreaching or how much you get clients. Which, by the way, when you start making money, you can start hiring guys to do the dirtier work or the ad running for you or whatever you do as a service, and you can start actually being the CEO of your company and really scale that thing into something that you never thought was actually possible. That's actually what happens for a lot of guys who actually become successful in this stuff. They start out small by themselves, or maybe with a friend, or with a one media buyer, one employee, and then they expand once they get their first client or two. And that's probably what you should do and what you should think about instead of overthinking about how much services that you know off the heart, okay? Just know this, if you put in the work and actually want to get your first client, you'll do it, okay? It's not actually that hard, but it's also not that easy. A lot of people, to be honest, 95% of people who start an agency probably never actually get their first client, and they might get close. Like some of those guys might get close and they might get, I booked a meeting or so, but they'll get one or two and they'll be like, wow, I just did all that outreach, I got no clients. I'm over it. Don't be that guy. Just keep through it. And hey, maybe it's not your thing. Maybe this just isn't your thing, and no, that's fine. There's way more revenues to making money online than just an agency. SMMA is one thing. You can make an agency space with AI, an agency space with nothing, with something else. You don't have to use social media. This is the video. Okay, goodbye.